All right, so I'm gonna put together this set of rocking chairs. A couple things makes it easy for you is when you get all the parts, you put them in little cups to separate your pieces. And I use a drill to put the things in. It comes with an Allen wrench, but it just takes forever. So it's a 4mm Allen wrench and just a regular Phillips bit. And I've got them in my Bosch 12-volt drill. So lay everything out once you get them out of the packaging. First step is going to be put on the little bottom glider things. And they all fit in these little mortises. So it's pretty straightforward. So you find your left and your rights. You take, this is a screw. And the very bottom, come around over here so you can see this. On the very bottom, it just seats right in there, just like that. And then you take your driver, and drive them right in. So these are already pre-drilled, so you're not going to worry about cracking the wood. All right, so that's the left side. We're going to set this off, and let's do the right side. The only thing on these is you want to make sure that the short part of the glider is towards the front. So I'm going to flip this over, short part towards the front. Get my 2 screws. And in every one of these holes, they're already pre-drilled. So there you go. And you don't have to overdo it because if you're using a power drill, it could crack it. But I have the clutch set on these so it won't do that. All right, so what's next? So 1, 2, so that's done and that's done. They come with this little 90-degree support installed on one, and you have to put it on the other. It looks just like that. So that is where you're going to switch to the Phillips bits, the Phillips screws. Okay, all right, looks just like that. Okay, and the holes are pre-drilled here, so there's no, you don't need to pre-drill anything, and it's kind of hard to line up, but if you just kind of eyeball it, it's going to be centered, so don't, as long as you're centered, you should be fine. There's 1. 2, and then a third one. And really these aren't they don't provide much support. It's more for those. All right, so that's that. Okay, now you're done with the Phillips, except for till you get to the very end. All right, next is going to be to put on the cross pieces. So cross pieces are labeled, and they are angled in such a way that you really can't put them in incorrectly, which is great. So that's the seat, and these are going to be the cross pieces. So this is H, and when you look at these, right, there's your chair, okay? They have little screw holes in these, and those are going to face towards the inside, but you don't even need to worry about that, because if you look on these, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, these are angled a little bit, so you can only put them in the one way, which is going to be the right way. So like, I'll give you an example. If this goes right there, and I put it in the wrong way, it'll angle back pretty severely. I don't know if you can see that. So you put it in the correct way, it'll angle forward, which is going to be the correct way, so that you don't have to worry about how it fits. Here's the other one. So this is the eyepiece, and the eyepiece goes in the front bottom. If I put it in the wrong way, it angles forward too much, which is really odd. Your rocking chair, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe that's a better look. See how it angles forward too much? If I put it in the correct way, it angles backwards, and so it'll all be set. So just kind of something to eyeball before you assemble it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a screw, and I'm going to thread it, and I'm not going to put these in all the way. I want to leave a little room. Actually, I am going to thread that through all the way. And I'm going to get I. I goes right down here on the bottom. Grab another screw. The only one I'd be really worried about, this eyepiece is a little narrow, a little thin. So when you drive it, I would just be a little more cautious driving that in there. Go a little slower so you don't split the wood. Okay, let's see. Just like that. All right, there's two. And then my H piece goes in the front. It's also angled in the correct way so that you don't have to worry about it. The other thing you want to make sure is you have these little holes are facing inward. There's two here and there's two here. So you want to make sure they're facing inward, which also will indicate that you have it correct because they're facing towards the inside. Okay, so I just have these sort of tight. I didn't really crank down on them quite yet because I want to do that at the very end. All right. Okay, now next. Next is going to be this version. It's going to be the back piece, which is this one. Okay, same thing. It fits, and come here so you can see this. All right, it fits. If you look, right, there's these little holes in here. Just fits just like that. Just fits like that. Another way you'll know it's right is the label is facing towards the back. So we're going to do those. And this uses the same screws as before. Kind of thread it in to get it started. And thread it to get it started. Grab your drill. And as I'm drilling it, I'm kind of holding it here so it doesn't, move away on me. And again, I'm not over tightening them. All right, so there are those two. Now, lay that down flat. Let's grab our left side, and it should line up very nicely. One, two-seated, three-seated, four-seated, and number 5. Make sure they're all in. Now it's just a matter of taking your screws and popping them in. Now these I will tighten up to their final thickness, and I just want to check to make sure all these are seated. And I will torque these down to their final tightness. There we go. Okay. Should have 2 screws left, and they go right on the top. There you go. Just like that. Where's my bit? Oh, there it is. The last thing was to put on the seats. Okay, so before I put on the seat, there you go, I'm going to spin this around to the other side and tighten everything up. One last time. And most of them are pretty good. I just needed maybe a quarter turn. I didn't do anything. That was good. Good. That was good. Okay. All right. The last part. Let me back up a little bit. The last part going to be put on the seat. The seat is very easy. I don't know if the camera will pick up on it, but it has these little holes right here. One there, one there, one there, and one there. And it sits right on top of this frame, and it just sits inside. Okay. So it can't really move anywhere. It's pretty straight there, but it just sits right inside, right there. So this goes behind that piece, just like that. And the back, it sits inside the back piece, just like that. And the only way it's secured is with 4 little screws. Let's see. Come around over here. So I'm going to put these screws in. These are the Phillips screws. And the only thing I would say here is just make sure you're holding it. So when you put it in, it should seat. There's, these pieces already have a pre-drilled hole. You just want to kind of hold it in place until you get the screw in, because you don't want it falling forward and then it's out of, doesn't look good. 1. 2. The other 2 are going to be right up here. Again, I'm going to pull this forward so that it is nice and flush. And let's see if it works. Let's have a seat. There you go. All right, come over here, Nate. Let's see what it looks like. So there you go. Ooh, it's nice. Comfy. So there you go. That's how you put it together. Hope that helps you.